Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Double C Outdoors. This is not somewhere you're used to seeing me. You either see me in the car, waiting to go fishing, or at the pond, fishing. But today, we're not going to fish, we're going to talk about it. And in particular, we're going to talk about flipping and pitching, which is my favorite type of fishing. I guess you could throw punching in there too. We're going to talk about times of year, baits, what kind of rods, reels, line, weights, all kinds of stuff, hooks. We're just going to get down into detail about flipping and pitching and kind of try to make you better at it. So, let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about flipping and pitching heavy cover with braid. So, my braid setup is a Lew's Mach 1, 6/8 to 1 gear ratio, and a 7/4, a 7/4 rod. I don't care what kind of rod, just 7/3, 7/4 is what I'm using. This is 65-pound braid, Berkeley X5 braid. This is a heavy, what do they call it? A heavy fast. Got a good tip, but if I got to get one out of the heavy cover, I can get him out and not have to worry about him breaking me off or anything like that. So when it comes to flipping braid, let me just go ahead and show you what I use. When it comes to hooks, I like to use a straight shank, the flipping hook. This is a 4/0 trocar heavy flipping hook, and this is just a brass weight. I have a 1/4 ounce on there, but I haven't been flipping because I ain't been to the lake. I just flip the stuff around my pond, and I don't really have a whole lot of heavy stuff to flip. And this is my heaviest weight at the time. So that's what I got. I always tie a Palomar knot when I'm flipping with braid. Don't tie Palomar knot with fluorocarbon because you'll burn your line. So that's it for line and hooks. And so a weight I like to use depending on where I'm fishing. So if I'm fishing in Rayburn and I'm fishing in grass, I drill a 3/4 to 1 1/4 ounce. You can flip a half, but I like to stay on the heavy side a little bit. If you're going to flip half, flip lead. If I'm going to flip anything over a half, I'm going to go to like a 3/4, 5/8, a 1 ounce. That's going to tungsten all the time because tungsten is a lot denser and you can have a lot less weight, a littler weight for a heavier, or you could use brass. Brass is good too. It's just a little bit bigger than tungsten. Okay, let's talk about baits. I got a lot of baits I like, but we're only going to go with what is this? Five baits. The one I had on here was this guy here. This is just a 5-inch Senko. Every company makes them. I like to stick with Yum or Guggen, Strike King. I don't know. I buy Senkos. I don't care who makes them. And here we're going to talk about Beavers. A Beaver style flipping bait. So I got 2 styles of Beavers in this bag, both black and blue. They're both Berkeley Beavers. You can see this one's a little bit as long and slender. This one's kind of short and fat. So the thing with the Beaver is it has no action. So I'm going to flip this Beaver after, when the fish are first starting to come up in the grass. They're still a little bit lethargic, but they're coming up. So I'm going to flip a Beaver like this when the water temp's a little bit colder, say at 55, not 55, 57 to 60 degrees. I'm going to flip this Beaver. It has no action, so it kind of just floats down. don't, the tails aren't kicking or anything. Same thing with this one. This is just a different style. So let's get into some other baits. When the Senko will flip all times of the year, you can't really beat them. Let's get into a different type of bait here. Alright, here we go, is a grub. I actually got one of these dudes in my pocket. I was about to go use it a little bit. Let's see if I can get it out. Alright, this is a Strike King Rage Menace grub. This is a 3-inch. I like to use the 4-inch, but I have these mainly because I put them on my jig trailers, and they work for amazing swim jig trailers, flipping jig trailers, casting jig, anything you can do with a jig. I will put a Menace grub on it and get bit. So this is one amazing little flipping bait. See, that's it, rigged up. Go. Menace grub. And this has a little bit of action, so it's got these here. Let's see if we can. Oh, come on. See, it's got this little flange on the back, and it kicks a lot of water up. And second, let's get into bugs. So this is a Guggen Baits Bandito bug, watermelon red. Take one out of the package for you. Wait, do I have one that will... Hold up a second, I might have one in here. Oh, I do. Oh man, it's losing a claw. But whatever, here we go. Alright, I got a Bandito bug right here. I ain't gotta take one off the pack. This is a Bandito bug. It is missing a little claw. It would have another one of these right here, claw. It's got and it's missing a flange here. So this is it's kind of like a Strike King Rage Crawl. It has more little flanges here, but these have a double flange on them. See, I don't know if y'all can tell. It's got 2 flanges right here, and it kicks up a ton of water. These are really good baits. This is probably one of my favorite baits to flip with. Yep. Let's put that back where it belongs. All right. Let's go to the last one we're going to talk about today, and that is a crawl. Tons of companies make crawls. You can get a crawl just about from anybody. I'm going to lay out 3 different brands here. There's 1, 2, where are you at? 3. Do I have... Come on, man, I don't have any 2. Alright, well, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. We got a Guggen Baits Crack and Crawl 4-inch. This is a Junebug color. And it also has 2 flanges. This is what I flip with a bunch. Different colors I'll flip. Depending on watercolor, I'll go to a Junebug when the watercolor is a little bit stained. They don't have a whole lot of visibility. I'll go to a Junebug or a black and blue. Here is a Strike King Rage Crawl. It's missing a claw. Yeah, you can. So, let's see. There you go. It's just got the 1 flange. It kicks up a ton of water. All crawls are good for jig trailers. So, yeah. This is a Alabama crawl. It's got an orange on the bottom, green on the top. Good for not very stained, clear water. And this is a Yum Christi crawl. This is a black and blue. It don't have a flange. It's kind of got a rounded off tip here, but it kicks up a pretty good bunch of water. These are really good also. So that's 3 different crawls that I flip with. So hold up, I may have forgot something. Let me dig in my box for a second. Here we go. I did forget something. You can't talk about flipping without talking about jigs. Flipping a jig. Here we go. That's a flipping jig. It's a 3/4 ounce black and blue with the Christi crawl on the back. This is a Guggen Squad thick jig. You can use Strike King makes really good jigs too. So I use Dugan Squad and Strike King when it comes to flipping. Alright, let's get over into fluorocarbon flipping. Let me show you my setup when it comes to flipping fluorocarbon. This is my fluorocarbon stick right here. This is a Shimano Stellus worm and jig rod. It is a 7.2 power, 7.2 medium heavy fast, power medium heavy fast, and we got 20-pound fluorocarbon on it. If I'm flipping with a fluorocarbon, I don't go lower than 20 pound. I stay 20-25 pound fluorocarbon at all times. This rod I'm going to flip if the water is super clear. So 4-foot visibility, I will go to fluorocarbon. But most of the time, I'm just flipping a jig with my fluorocarbon rod. And I got a Abu Garcia Revo SX here. It is a 7-1-1 gear ratio. I guess that's about it. I flip the same setup, hooks, weights, etc., jigs. I will flip on this rod that I flip on this rod. This is just a shorter rod that I flip with this fluorocarbon because fluorocarbon has a little bit of stretch, and if I had a super long rod and the way I jerk on them, I'll end up breaking off. Do not tie a polymer knot with fluorocarbon. The one that I was showed to flip, Gerald Swindle, he ties it. I don't even know what you call it. Just double your line, run it around a little bit, and go through the hole. You got 3 tag ends. You go to YouTube and watch him. He'll teach you how to tie. So that's it for fluorocarbon flipping. Let's talk about flipping and rods and stuff, because there's a big debate on, what size rod do I use when I flip. If somebody comes up and says, all right, and he's, let's say 5'5", somebody comes up to me and asks, what size rod should I flip with? And you're 5'5" to 5'7". I'm going to say to stay in the 7'2" to 7'6". You don't want to use too big of a rod. If I'm going 5'8", I use a 7'4" or a 7'6", depending. I got two. My 7'6" is my frog rod, but I like to stick with the 7'4". It's easier for me to pitch around. You see people that got a big 8-foot flipping stick, and that's good if you're tall enough to flip that big old thing. But I'm sticking with my 7'4". So let's go if you're 5'10" to over 6 foot. I will say you could go 7'11" to 8 foot. 8 foot. I don't care. However long you want to go at that point. But 7'4", 7'6" is always, it's kind of a perfect, happy little medium, and you always get what you want to out of this. I've always flipped a 7'2" to 7'6" rod. So, all right. So let's talk about. Let me tell you something. I've started making my own baits. So this Cinco I made. I can make bugs and crawls and Cincos. And jig, I make jigs. So me and my buddy started making Cincos, crawls, and jigs. My buddy stays on jigs. He's really good at jigs. I got a couple. They're not in the boat. They're in the house because I was fishing with them. 1/4 ounce, 3/8, and 1/2 ounce. Jigs are $3, $3.50 a jig. It's either $3.50 or $4. Baits, I recycle plastics that I've used over time, and so those I sell in a 7-pack. So in the 7-pack, it's for Cincos. It's for all recycled plastic, it's $4 a pack. If you want plastisol plastics, that stuff is expensive, so the price goes up a little bit. I sell those for about $5.49 to $6 a pack, depending on how many you want. They come in 7 packs. I'll give you 8 or 9 if go up on price a little bit. So go to Twitter if you want some. You can find me at Cross Campbell 3, and or just look up Cross Campbell. I think you'll find me on there. I make baits, or go to Lethal Lures on Twitter. You'll find me there, and send me a DM. And I don't do like Okeechobee crawl stuff because I haven't figured out one half being one color, one half the other. I'll just make like watermelon red, green pumpkin, black and blue, Junebug, any of those colors I make. If you want some, send me a DM again, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.